If you're over 60 and waking up with stiff joints, sore muscles, or the feeling that your body just doesn't bounce back the way it used to, you're not alone, and you're not out of options. In fact, some of the most powerful healing tools are the simplest, and they may already be in your home. Today, we're exploring the incredible benefits of combining castor oil with Epsom salt. When used together, these two natural remedies can help ease chronic pain, reduce inflammation, support digestion, and even soften scar tissue that's been around for years. This isn't a quick fix or some trendy cure. It's a time-tested method that works slowly, gently, and deeply. And it's helped thousands of older adults reclaim comfort, mobility, and peace of mind. You'll learn exactly how to make a healing compress using everyday materials, how to apply it for different conditions, and why it works the way it does. And by the end of this episode, you'll hear the story of a 72-year-old woman who reversed over a decade of joint pain with just this simple method. No pills, no surgery, just consistency and care. If you're ready to feel more at home in your body again, let's begin. Why this works. For most of us, by the time we reach our 60s or 70s, we've picked up a few aches, maybe an old injury that never quite healed right, or joints that feel stiff and swollen. The castor oil and Epsom salt compress works because it addresses these issues at the root by reducing inflammation, improving circulation, and breaking down blockages in the tissue that cause pain and discomfort. Castor oil is unlike any other oil. It's thick, sticky, and powerful, and it penetrates deeper into the skin than almost any substance you can apply topically. Once it's absorbed, it helps soften hardened tissue, reduce swelling, and even dissolve things like scar tissue, bone spurs, or small cysts. It doesn't numb the pain. It supports real healing from the inside out. Epsom salt, on the other hand, is made up of magnesium sulfate. Magnesium is something many older adults are low in, and it's essential for relaxing muscles, calming the nervous system, and reducing stress and tension in the body. When you mix Epsom salt into warm water or into a compress, it helps draw inflammation out of the tissues, improves blood flow, and gives your body a gentle but meaningful dose of magnesium right where it's needed. The real magic happens when you bring these two together. The castor oil acts like a carrier, holding the warmth and driving healing deep into the tissues, while the Epsom salt soothes the muscles and reduces inflammation. It's not aggressive, it's not invasive, it's just nature working the way it was meant to. Slow, steady, and incredibly effective. You don't need complicated equipment, and you don't need a prescription. You just need a few household items, a little time, and the willingness to care for your body in a natural, nurturing way. In the next section, I'll walk you through exactly how to make this healing compress at home, step by step. How to make the healing compress. Let's walk through exactly how to make your own healing compress using castor oil and Epsom salt. This is simple, low cost, and something you can do right in your own home with materials you probably already have. First, you'll need a soft piece of cloth. Flannel works well, or you can use an old cotton t-shirt or even a piece of towel. What's important is that the fabric can hold oil without falling apart. If you prefer, you can also use a disposable incontinence pad, the kind with a plastic backing, because it helps keep the oil from soaking into your clothes or furniture. Next, you'll want to layer the fabric. I recommend using 4 to 6 layers if you're using thin cloth, or 2 to 3 if it's a thicker towel. The more layers you have, the more oil the compress can hold, and the longer it will stay warm and active on your skin. Now, lay the cloth flat and sprinkle about 1 to 2 teaspoons of Epsom salt evenly across the top. This will allow the magnesium to soak into your skin along with the oil. Then slowly pour castor oil over the salt until the cloth is fully saturated, not dripping, but deeply soaked. Make sure the salt doesn't pile up in one place. You want it to spread evenly so the entire area benefits. Once your compress is ready, apply it directly to the area that needs attention. It could be your knee, your lower back, your abdomen, or even your hand or shoulder. After placing it on the skin, cover it with a piece of plastic, and this could be a plastic bag or even some kitchen wrap, and then wrap it gently with a towel or bandage to hold it in place. The plastic helps keep the heat in and prevents the oil from leaking. Leave the compress on for at least 30 minutes. If you're comfortable, you can leave it on for a few hours or even overnight. The longer it stays, the deeper the healing goes. When you're done, fold the compress and store it in a glass container or Ziploc bag. You don't need to wash it after each use. In fact, you can reuse the same compress for up to a few weeks. Just check each time. If it starts to feel dry, add a little more castor oil before using it again. This simple process takes just a few minutes, but the results can be life-changing. In the next section, I'll share some real-life stories from seniors who use this method to ease arthritis, heal old injuries, and even dissolve bunions and cysts. Arthritis and joint pain. Living with joint pain can wear you down, physically, mentally, and emotionally. For many older adults, arthritis is more than just a medical term. It's a daily presence, a stiffness in the morning that makes getting out of bed a little slower, a sharp twinge when reaching for a mug, a deep, throbbing ache that lingers long after the chores are done. It shows up in the knees, the hands, the hips, and the shoulders. And over time, it can steal small pleasures like gardening, baking, or holding your grandchild's hand. But what if there was something simple, gentle, and natural that could help? Not another prescription, not another side effect, just a piece of cloth, some oil, and the power of warmth. One woman in her late 60s shared her experience. For nearly a year, she lived with arthritis in her right hand, especially in the index finger. It had become swollen, stiff, and nearly impossible to bend. She used to love writing letters, but even holding a pen became painful. I just figured this was aging, she said. This is what happens when you get old. Then she heard about the castor oil and Epsom salt compress. Curious, and with nothing to lose, she gave it a try. Each night, she wrapped her finger with the soaked cloth, layered with Epsom salt and castor oil, then gently secured it with plastic and a soft glove. The first night, she felt a mild heat, like something was waking up under her skin. The next morning, the pain had eased slightly. By the end of the first week, she could bend her finger halfway. After a month of nightly use, the swelling was almost gone. Her story is not unique. Castor oil is known for its deep penetration into tissue. When used consistently, it can help soften hardened joints, dissolve scar tissue, and reduce inflammation. Epsom salt, rich in magnesium, relaxes tense muscles and supports healing. Together, they create a soothing treatment that goes beneath the surface to support the body's natural recovery process. This isn't a miracle overnight fix. It's a slow, steady comfort, something you do out of care and patience. And for many, it works. If you or someone you love is living with joint pain, this simple compress might be the relief you've been hoping for. Try it gently. Try it regularly. And give your body the kindness it deserves. Healing takes time, but so does anything worth keeping. Bunions, bone spurs, and scar tissue. Sometimes pain doesn't come from illness or injury. It comes from something that's built up quietly over time. A bump on the side of the foot, a small knot in the shoulder that never softens, a tight spot near an old surgical scar. These small things can become big problems. They limit movement, cause discomfort, and make it harder to enjoy simple moments, like walking without pain or stretching without stiffness. That's the nature of bunions, bone spurs, and scar tissue. They form slowly and often go unnoticed until they start getting in the way. but there are gentle ways to work with the body to break them down, soften them, and restore comfort. One of those ways is through the use of castor oil and Epsom salt. Let me tell you about Helen. She's 71 and lives in Arizona. For years, she had a bunion on her right foot. It stuck out about half an inch, made her shoes tight, and gave her sharp pain after every walk. Her doctor had mentioned surgery, but she wasn't ready for that. I wanted something less drastic, she told us. Something I could do at home on my own terms. She started using a castor oil and Epsom salt compress every night. She cut a small square of cloth, added a bit of Epsom salt, soaked it in castor oil, and placed it gently over the bunion. Then she wrapped it with plastic and slipped on an old sock to keep it in place overnight. After the first week, the skin felt softer. After 3 weeks, the bunion looked smaller. By the end of the second month, the pain had eased so much that she could wear regular shoes again. No surgery, no medication, just steady care. That's the power of castor oil. It goes deep into the tissue and helps dissolve abnormal growths, whether that's a bone spur, hardened scar tissue, or a bunion. Epsom salt supports the process by reducing inflammation and softening the surrounding area. The two work together like a slow-moving river, gentle but steady, reshaping what doesn't belong. Scar tissue can form after surgery, injury, or years of tension in the same spot. It may not hurt at first, but over time it can tighten, pull, and create discomfort. Applying the same compress over the area can help break down the stiffness and restore flexibility. Some people have even reported feeling less tingling or numbness in areas that were once restricted. The key, once again, is consistency. Use the compress regularly. Be patient. Your body remembers how to heal. Sometimes it just needs a little help getting started. Bunions, bone spurs, and scar tissue. Sometimes pain doesn't come from illness or injury. It comes from something that's built up quietly over time. A bump on the side of the foot, a small knot in the shoulder that never softens, a tight spot near an old surgical scar. These small things can become big problems. They limit movement, cause discomfort, and make it harder to enjoy simple moments, like walking without pain or stretching without stiffness. That's the nature of bunions, bone spurs, and scar tissue. They form slowly and often go unnoticed until they start getting in the way. But there are gentle ways to work with the body to break them down, soften them, and restore comfort. One of those ways is through the use of castor oil and Epsom salt. Let me tell you about Helen. She's 71 and lives in Arizona. For years, she had a bunion on her right foot. It stuck out about half an inch, made her shoes tight, and gave her sharp pain after every walk. Her doctor had mentioned surgery, but she wasn't ready for that. I wanted something less drastic, she told us. Something I could do at home on my own terms. She started using a castor oil and Epsom salt compress every night. She cut a small square of cloth, added a bit of Epsom salt, soaked it in castor oil, and placed it gently over the bunion. Then she wrapped it with plastic and slipped on an old sock to keep it in place overnight. After the first week, the skin felt softer. After 3 weeks, the bunion looked smaller. By the end of the second month, the pain had eased so much that she could wear regular shoes again. No surgery, no medication, just steady care. That's the power of castor oil. It goes deep into the tissue and helps dissolve abnormal growths, whether that's a bone spur, hardened scar tissue, or a bunion. Epsom salt supports the process by reducing inflammation and softening the surrounding area. The two work together like a slow-moving river, gentle but steady, reshaping what doesn't belong. Scar tissue can form after surgery, injury, or years of tension in the same spot. It may not hurt at first, but over time it can tighten, pull, and create discomfort. Applying the same compress over the area can help break down the stiffness and restore flexibility. Some people have even reported feeling less tingling or numbness in areas that were once restricted. The key, once again, is consistency. Use the compress regularly. Be patient. Your body remembers how to heal. Sometimes it just needs a little help getting started. Digestive issues, constipation, and irritable bowel. Digestive discomfort can be hard to talk about, but for many older adults, it's a constant part of daily life. Constipation, bloating, cramping, and unpredictable bowel habits aren't just annoying. They can affect how you eat, how you sleep, and how you feel about your own body. Over time, they wear on your energy, your mood, and your confidence. One woman who attended a wellness retreat shared her story. She was 68 and had lived with irritable bowel syndrome for over 10 years. Her symptoms came and went. Some days she was constipated and uncomfortable. Other days she barely made it to the bathroom in time. Her husband, a retired doctor, had offered every medication and test in the book, but none of it brought lasting relief. She had just about given up when she heard about using a castor oil compress. Not to take internally, but to wear on her abdomen. With nothing to lose, she made one. A soft cloth, a sprinkle of Epsom salt, a few tablespoons of castor oil. She folded it, warmed it slightly, and placed it gently over her belly, just below her ribs. She held it in place with an old t-shirt and lay down for an hour. The first time, she simply felt relaxed. The second time, her stomach made soft noises. By the end of the week, she was having regular bowel movements again. No cramping, no urgency, just gentle relief. What's happening here? Castor oil penetrates deep into tissues. When placed over the abdomen, it helps increase circulation to the digestive tract, reduces internal inflammation, and softens hardened or sluggish areas. Epsom salt adds magnesium, which calms the nerves and muscles in the gut, allowing your system to reset and flow naturally again. For those who struggle with chronic constipation, wearing this compress for a few hours during the day or even overnight can make a world of difference. Pair it with warm water, gentle movement, and a little patience, and many people begin to notice relief within days. And here's something else. The position in which we sit affects how our bowels move. If you can, try using a small footstool in the bathroom to bring your knees slightly above your hips. This simple change, along with the castor oil compress, can help your body return to its natural rhythm. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to feel embarrassed. Your digestive system is wise. Sometimes it just needs support, not control. With care, consistency, and natural tools, healing is possible. Hormonal imbalance, fibroids, and cysts. For many women, the end of menopause doesn't mean the end of hormonal challenges. In fact, it's often after 50 or 60 that issues like fibroids, ovarian cysts, or lingering hormonal imbalances begin to show themselves more clearly. These conditions can cause discomfort, pressure in the abdomen, fatigue, and a frustrating sense that the body just isn't working quite right. Susan, age 69, was one of those women. She had gone through menopause more than a decade ago, but was still dealing with heavy bloating and pain in her lower belly. At first, she thought it was just digestion, but a scan showed she had 2 small fibroids pressing against her uterus. Her doctor said they were benign, non-cancerous, but recommended surgery if they continued to grow. Susan wasn't ready for surgery. She wanted to try something natural first. That's when she began using a castor oil and Epsom salt compress on her abdomen every night. She created a thick pad from flannel, added a small amount of Epsom salt for its anti-inflammatory effects, and poured in castor oil until it was fully saturated. She placed the compress just below her navel, covered it with plastic wrap, and lay quietly with it for about an hour each evening. On nights when she felt more bloated or sore, she left it on overnight, secured under her pajamas. Within 3 weeks, Susan noticed her lower belly felt less heavy. After 6 weeks, the bloating was nearly gone. A follow-up scan 3 months later showed the fibroids had shrunk by nearly 30%. It felt like my body was finally letting go, she said. Here's why this works. Fibroids, cysts, and other growths often form when hormones, especially estrogen, are out of balance. Castor oil helps soften and break down abnormal tissue formations, while Epsom salt soothes inflammation and encourages detox through the skin. When used consistently, this gentle combination can support the body's natural ability to restore balance. Hormonal shifts can feel mysterious and hard to control, but your body is always listening. And sometimes what it needs isn't a strong medicine, it's steady care. A soft cloth, a quiet moment, a warm compress. These small acts can speak loudly to the systems within us that are trying to heal. If you've been living with cysts, fibroids, or simply feel your hormones are out of sync, know this: your body hasn't stopped working. It may just need a nudge in the right direction. Let healing happen gently, naturally, and on your own time. Customize it for you. One of the most beautiful things about natural remedies is how flexible they are. No two bodies are exactly the same. What works quickly for one person might take more time for another, and that's perfectly okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Healing isn't a formula. It's a relationship with your body. Some people prefer warmth. They might place the compress on a sore knee, wrap it gently, and lie under a blanket. Others find comfort using the compress overnight, letting it slowly work while they sleep. Some try castor oil one night, and on the next night, switch to a ginger or potato poultice, especially for swollen joints. You don't have to pick just one method. You can alternate and see what your body responds to best. You can also apply the compress to different parts of your body depending on what you're dealing with. For joint pain, place it directly over the knee, wrist, or elbow. For digestive issues like constipation or irritable bowel, lay it across your abdomen. For gallstones or liver support, place it under your right rib cage. If you have kidney stones or back discomfort, place it on your lower back. And if you're dealing with chest congestion, place it on your chest for about 30 to 45 minutes while you rest. You don't need to make a new compress every day. These can be reused for several weeks. After each use, fold it carefully, store it in a clean glass container or Ziploc bag, and keep it in a cool place. If it starts to feel a little dry, just add a bit more castor oil. You'll learn to feel when it needs refreshing. Your hands will tell you. And remember, healing is personal. Listen to your body. Some people feel relief right away. Others notice small changes over time. Better sleep, softer joints, less bloating. Let those quiet shifts encourage you. There's no need to rush. You're not behind. You're not doing it wrong. The most important thing is that you're showing up for yourself with intention and care. That alone is powerful. So be gentle. Adjust as needed. You are the best doctor for your own body because you're the one who lives in it. The power of patience. In a world that moves so fast, patience can feel like an old-fashioned word, but for healing, real, lasting healing, patience isn't optional. It's essential. You didn't get to where you are overnight. Maybe the pain started years ago. Maybe it came from an injury that never fully healed, or a slow buildup of stress, inflammation, or wear and tear on your joints. And just like it took time for your body to reach this place, it will take time in gentle care to bring it back into balance. But here's the good news. Your body hasn't given up. It's still working, still listening, still capable of change. Every time you take the time to prepare your compress, warm the oil, wrap it around that aching spot, you're sending your body a message. You're saying, I believe in you. I trust your wisdom. I'm here for you. We've heard from so many people who say the same thing. I almost gave up until I gave this time. One man wore a castor oil compress on his swollen knee every night for 6 weeks before he noticed major improvement. A woman dealing with fibroids saw changes after 2 months. These aren't quick fixes, but they're steady ones, and they are real. Patience isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing something small, consistently, with faith. It's trusting that the work you're doing tonight, though quiet and slow, is laying the groundwork for a better tomorrow. Healing doesn't always come in big dramatic moments. Sometimes it comes in the silence of a peaceful evening, when the compress is warm, the lights are low, and your body can finally relax. That's when the repair begins. That's when the shift happens. So if you've been trying and haven't seen results yet, don't stop. Keep going. Let time be your ally, not your enemy. You are not broken. You are in process. And that process is sacred. This journey is not just about easing pain. It's about reclaiming trust in your body, reclaiming rhythm, reclaiming hope. And hope, just like healing, always begins with a quiet choice to keep going. We've covered a lot today. And if you're still here with me, that says something beautiful about you. It says you care. It says you're still willing to learn, to try, and to believe that your body is worth caring for. And it is. Every wrinkle, every ache, every breath, it all matters. You don't need a cabinet full of pills to feel better. Sometimes all it takes is a quiet moment, a piece of cloth, a little warmth, a few drops of castor oil, and the simple decision to show up for yourself again and again. Whether you're dealing with joint pain, digestion issues, old scar tissue, or hormonal imbalances, your body is always ready to respond to kindness. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen. Because healing is not just something your body does. It's something you allow, invite, and nurture over time. If this video brought you hope or reminded you of your own strength, I invite you to take the next step. Subscribe to this channel so we can keep walking this journey together. Leave a comment and let me know what you're working through. Share your story because someone out there might need to hear it. And if you know someone who could use this kind of gentle support, pass it along. Healing spreads when we share it. Most of all, I want you to remember this. You are not too old to heal. You are not too late. You are right on time. And every step you take toward wellness is a step worth celebrating. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, be well. Be kind to yourself. And trust the quiet power of small, steady things.